The Emirates Stadium. A Champions League night. The tension was palpable. Arsenal versus Real Madrid. The air was electric, filled with the hopes and dreams of thousands of fans who had gathered to witness what promised to be an unforgettable match. The stadium was a sea of red and white, with Arsenal supporters waving their flags and chanting in unison, creating an atmosphere that was both intimidating and exhilarating. It was a clash of titans, two of the most storied clubs in football history, each with a legacy of greatness and a roster of world-class talent. The players took to the pitch, their faces a mix of determination and focus, knowing that this was more than just a game. It was a battle for pride, for glory, and for a place in the annals of football history. No one could have predicted what would unfold. The first half was a tense affair, with both teams probing and testing each other, looking for weaknesses to exploit. The crowd was on the edge of their seats. Every pass, every tackle, every shot met with gasps and cheers. It was a masterclass in football strategy, with both managers playing a high-stakes game of chess. Arsenal delivered a masterclass, crushing Real Madrid 3-0. The goals came in quick succession, each one more spectacular than the last. The first was a brilliant solo effort, weaving through the defence and slotting the ball into the bottom corner. The second was a thunderous strike from outside the box, leaving the goalkeeper with no chance. And the third, a perfectly executed team move, showcasing the fluid attacking football that Arsenal is known for. The result sent shockwaves through the football world. Pundits and commentators were left speechless, struggling to find the words to describe what they had just witnessed. It was a performance that defied expectations, a result that no one saw coming. The underdogs had triumphed, and in doing so, they had rewritten the script of the Champions League. This wasn't just a victory, it was a statement, a declaration of intent from a team that had been written off by many. Arsenal had shown the world that they were a force to be reckoned with, capable of taking on and defeating the very best. The celebrations on the pitch were a testament to the hard work, the dedication, and the belief that had driven them to this moment. Arsenal, the underdogs, had roared. They had silenced their critics and given their fans a night to remember. The team huddled together, their faces a mix of joy and relief, knowing that they had achieved something truly special. The fans in the stands were in a state of euphoria, their chants echoing around the stadium, a chorus of pride and passion. They had announced their intentions on the biggest stage. This was not just a one-off performance, but a signal of what was to come. Arsenal had shown that they were capable of competing with the best, and that they had the talent, the drive, and the ambition to go all the way. The players knew that this was just the beginning, that there were more challenges ahead. But for now, they could bask in the glory of a job well done. This night belonged to the Gunners. It was a night that would be remembered for years to come, a night that would be talked about in pubs and living rooms, in newspapers and on television. The players waved to the crowd, their faces beaming with pride, knowing that they had given their fans a night to remember. The fans in turn waved their flags and sang their songs, a sea of red and white celebrating a historic victory, and to one man in particular, Declan Rice. The young midfielder had been the standout performer, his energy, his vision, and his skill driving the team forward. He had been everywhere, breaking up attacks, starting counter-attacks, and even getting on the score sheet himself. It was a performance that belied his years, a performance that marked him out as a star of the future. His name would forever be etched in Arsenal folklore. The fans had a new hero, a player who had given everything for the shirt and who had delivered when it mattered most. His teammates lifted him onto their shoulders, a fitting tribute to a player who had been at the heart of everything good about Arsenal's performance. He was the hero of the hour. In the post-match interview, he spoke with humility and grace, praising his teammates and the fans and dedicating the victory to everyone who had supported the team. It was a moment that captured the essence of what football is all about: passion, teamwork, and the joy of achieving something special together. His performance would be talked about for years to come. It was a night that had everything: drama, excitement, and a fairy tale ending. Declan Rice had written his name into the history books, and in doing so, he had given Arsenal fans a night they would never forget. This was more than just a game, it was a night for the history books. The first half was a cagey affair. Both teams approached the game with a sense of caution, aware of the stakes and the quality of the opposition. The atmosphere in the stadium was tense, with fans on the edge of their seats, anticipating the breakthrough moment. The players on the pitch mirrored this tension, each move calculated, each pass measured. It was a chess match on grass, with neither side willing to make the first mistake. Both teams sized each other up, probing for weaknesses, testing the waters. The midfield was a battleground, with possession changing hands frequently. Every tackle, every interception was met with roars from the crowd. The managers on the sidelines barked instructions, their voices barely audible over the din of the fans. It was a tactical duel, with each side trying to outthink the other. Real Madrid, the reigning champions, exuded confidence. Their recent successes had given them an air of invincibility. The players moved with a swagger, their body language oozing self-belief. They had been in this position before and knew how to handle the pressure. The fans in white were in full voice, believing that their team would find a way to break the deadlock. Their star-studded lineup looked dangerous. With world-class talent in every position, they had the ability to change the game in an instant. The likes of Modric, Kroos and Benzema were capable of producing moments of magic that could turn the tide in their favour. The opposition knew they had to be at their best to contain this formidable lineup. Karim Benzema lurked menacingly up front. The French striker, with his sharp instincts and clinical finishing, was a constant threat. He prowled the final third, looking for any opportunity to pounce. His movement off the ball was intelligent, always finding pockets of space to exploit. The defenders had to be on high alert, knowing that a momentary lapse in concentration could be costly. Vinicius Jr. threatened with his pace and trickery. The young Brazilian winger was a live wire, his quick feet and dazzling dribbles causing problems for the Arsenal defence. Every time he got the ball, there was a sense of anticipation. He had the ability to beat his man and create something out of nothing. Arsenal, though, were unfazed. They had prepared for this and were ready to meet the challenge head-on. They were disciplined and organised. The Gunners had come with a clear game plan and they were executing it to perfection. Their defensive shape was solid, with every player knowing their role. They pressed as a unit, closed down spaces, and made it difficult for Real Madrid to find any rhythm. It was a masterclass in defensive organisation. They frustrated Real Madrid at every turn. The Spanish giants found it hard to break through the well-drilled Arsenal defence. Every attack was met with a wall of red shirts, blocking shots, making tackles, and intercepting passes. The frustration was evident on the faces of the Real Madrid players as they struggled to find a way through. The Gunners had a game plan. Mikel Arteta had drilled his team meticulously and they were sticking to the script. The players communicated constantly, ensuring that everyone was on the same page. The manager's instructions were clear and the team executed them with precision. It was a collective effort, with every player contributing to the cause. They were determined to stick to it. The resolve in the Arsenal camp was palpable. They knew that they had to be disciplined and patient. The players encouraged each other, maintaining high spirits and focus. They believed in their strategy and were committed to seeing it through. The determination in their eyes was clear for all to see. The midfield battle was intense. It was a war of attrition, with both sides fighting for control. The tackles were fierce, the duels relentless. Every loose ball was contested with vigour. The midfielders had to be sharp, both mentally and physically, to gain the upper hand. It was a crucial area of the pitch, and neither side was willing to give an inch. Declan Rice was at the heart of it. He was everywhere. The Arsenal midfielder was a colossus, covering every blade of grass. His presence was felt in both defence and attack. He broke up play with well-timed tackles, intercepted passes, and distributed the ball with precision. His performance was a testament to his quality and work ethic, breaking up play, winning tackles, and distributing the ball with precision. Rice was the engine of the Arsenal midfield, driving his team forward. His composure on the ball and ability to read the game were crucial in maintaining Arsenal's shape and structure. He was a leader on the pitch, guiding his teammates and setting the tempo. He was a rock in the Arsenal midfield. His performance was nothing short of heroic. Every time Real Madrid threatened, Rice was there to snuff out the danger. His tackles were clean, his interceptions timely. He was the anchor that held the team together, providing stability and confidence to those around him. Little did anyone know that he was about to write his name into the history books. The stage was set for a moment of brilliance, and Rice was ready to seize it. The calm before the storm was about to give way to a defining moment, one that would be remembered for years to come. The anticipation was building, and the fans could sense that something special was on the horizon. The second half began in a similar fashion. The tension was mounting, then in the 58th minute it happened. A free kick was awarded to Arsenal just outside the Real Madrid box. It was a dangerous position. Up stepped Declan Rice. He had never scored a direct free kick in his career. This was his moment. He struck the ball with power and precision. It curled beautifully over the wall. Thibaut Courtois, the Real Madrid goalkeeper, had no chance. The net rippled. The Emirates erupted. The noise was deafening. Declan Rice had done the unthinkable. He had scored his first ever goal for Arsenal. And what a goal it was. It was a moment of individual brilliance, a moment of magic. The goal seemed to deflate Real Madrid. They had no answer to Arsenal's intensity. The Gunners were rampant. They smelled blood. They were determined to finish the job. Section 5. Arteta's Masterplan. Mikel Arteta, the Arsenal manager, had prepared his team to perfection. They were tactically astute and technically superb. They were playing with a swagger. The belief was flowing through the team. Arteta had instilled a winning mentality in this Arsenal side. They were no longer the pushovers of the past. They were a force to be reckoned with. They were contenders. Section 6, doubling down on magic. In the world of football, moments of magic can turn the tide of a game, and sometimes a single player can become the hero of the day. This was one of those moments. 10 minutes later, Arsenal won another free kick in a similar position. The tension in the stadium was palpable. Fans were on the edge of their seats, knowing that this could be the defining moment of the match. This time, there was no doubt who was taking it. Declan Rice, with his calm demeanour and focused eyes, was ready to take on the challenge once more. The crowd held its breath, waiting to see if he could replicate his earlier success. Declan Rice stepped up once again. His posture exuded confidence, and his teammates watched in anticipation. The weight of the moment was immense, but Rice seemed unfazed. The weight of expectation was immense. Fans could feel the pressure, their hearts pounding in unison with the rhythm of the game. The entire stadium seemed to hold its collective breath. Could he do it again? The question lingered in the air, a silent prayer from thousands of hopeful fans. The tension was almost unbearable as everyone waited for the moment of truth. He struck the ball perfectly. The technique was flawless, the power and precision a testament to his skill. The ball soared through the air, following a trajectory that seemed almost predestined. It was a carbon copy of his first goal. The ball curved beautifully, evading the outstretched hands of the goalkeeper. The crowd erupted in a deafening roar as if the stadium itself was celebrating. The ball flew past the despairing dive of Courtois and into the back of the net. 2 free kicks, 2 goals. The sheer brilliance of the moment was undeniable. Declan Rice had done it again, cementing his place in the annals of football history. Declan Rice was writing his own fairy tale. His performance was nothing short of legendary, a display of skill and composure that would be remembered for years to come. The fans knew they had witnessed something special, a moment of magic that would be talked about for generations. Section 7. The walls close in. Real Madrid was shell-shocked. They had no response. The atmosphere in the Emirates was electric. The Arsenal fans were in dreamland. Their team was outplaying the mighty Real Madrid. To make matters worse for Real Madrid, Eduardo Camavinga was sent off in stoppage time. The young Frenchman received a second yellow card for dissent. It was a moment of frustration from a player who was having a night to forget. Section 8. A night of firsts. This was a night of firsts for Arsenal. It was their first victory over Real Madrid in the Champions League. It was also the first time they had scored 3 goals against the Spanish giants. But it was Declan Rice who stole the headlines. 2 goals in 1 game. His first goals for the club, and what goals they were. It was a performance that would live long in the memory. Section 9. What dreams may come. The final whistle blew. The Emirates erupted once more. Arsenal had done it. They had beaten Real Madrid 3-0. It was a famous victory. This was a statement of intent from Arsenal. They had sent a message to the rest of Europe. They were here to compete. They were here to win, and with Declan Rice in their ranks, anything was possible. The dream of Champions League glory was very much alive.